and welcome to another Ask Me Anything, where we feature a local nonprofit from the greater Helena area and have a conversation about what they do in our community. I'm Emily Frazier, the Executive Director of the Helena Area Community Foundation, and I'm sitting here with our December Nonprofit of the Month representative, which is Renee from Family Promise. And you might notice that we are festive. And we are festive because one, it's December, but also for us, the Helena Holiday Cruise is coming up. It starts next week. It starts on the 14th. And so from the 14th to the 23rd, we're all about the beauty of the greater Helena area, in particular as it is experienced through holiday lights. I found this dress and obviously have to wear it all season now. So if you haven't planned on joining us, you should. There aren't many trolley tickets left, but you can also get a map and visit with your family. So that's our event coming up. That's our pitch for what's going on with the HACF. But I'd love for you to tell us a little bit more about Family Promise. I told us your name and your organization. But is there anything you want to add to that?
I think, I am Renee Bauer. I am the Executive Director of Family Promise of Greater Helena, Townsend and Broadwater County now.
Okay.
So we grow constantly, it seems.
Perfect. And you've been there for how many years now?
Family Promise has been in Helena for 15 now. Mm-hmm. I have been with the organization for 5.
Okay, great. So in 10 words or less, and I will be counting, what does your organization does? Tell us what your organization does.
All right, and I got it down to 10.
Good job.
We shelter children and their families and provide services for sustainability.
10. Good job, Renee. You're the first one to get it. That's pretty big things. So 10 words or less, but that's a lot.
It is a lot. Yeah. Besides shelter, we have prevention and diversion. We do all kinds of things to help families become sustainable and independent. So it's a pretty broad area. We started a new program this year called the Community Response Program. We have a gentleman that we hired, Matt Furlong, who is the director of that program, and he does amazing work. He works with families who are vulnerable to having CPS involvement with their children, and it's largely a prevention program.
Nice.
Matt does a terrific job working with these folks to teach them better or enhanced parenting skills and just how to maneuver through life as a parent.
Well, when we think about people who are experiencing homelessness or who are unsheltered, most people think of traditional shelters, and Family Promise is a little bit different. Can you tell us about that a bit?
We are, and we're really positioned to even serve more in the community. Currently, we run our shelter program through, it's called a rotational program. And we partner with a number of other churches in the community, and the churches shelter our people for a week at a time, and then they rotate, to another church. We are in the process of building a static shelter where we will have an actual facility where people will shelter at that one place throughout their duration with us, and we're very excited about that big project.
The rotational model, it's kind of interesting, and I've seen it in action, but it's not with one specific type of church. It's not with one. Can you talk about that a little bit? Because some people I think hear churches and they're like, oh, that's going to mean that they're trying to convert us or things like that. And
right, it's an interfaith hospitality network. Okay. We have all denominations. We have all kinds of organizations besides churches that actually support us also. During the month of June, when Carroll College doesn't have students on campus, we actually shelter our people in the college dorms.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So it's pretty broad-based. It's very community supported.
Right.
The churches do not try to convert the folks who are in the program.
Right.
They're just trying to show holy hospitality.
Yeah. And so if somebody comes in who's in an LGBTQ family, they're welcome everywhere.
They are welcome everywhere.
That's amazing. So I think that's one of the things that people sometimes might misunderstand about. And whenever people hear churches, I think we assume there are limitations. And really what I've seen with this is basically it's like a new group of people who are really jazzed to love on these people for a week.
That's really true. That is exactly what happens. We're in a very accepting organization. We let families define themselves. Mm-hmm. One of the things that we've seen a huge increase in the last year with is dads. we've had a lot of single dads who have their children that we've sheltered and worked with. So sometimes it's grandma and grandpa, sometimes it's two moms. It just is whatever your definition of family is.
That's very cool. So, what is one thing that you wish people knew about your organization?
Um, we try to create an environment where our families really can become sustainably independent. And that is a huge umbrella.
Mm-hmm.
We provide all kinds of programming. While they're with us, we provide them with all of their needs. So we feed them, we clothe them, we make sure that they have jobs or the kiddos are in school. So it's a large wraparound program.
Very cool. So, how have the housing issues in Helena? We know that housing has become even more challenging. I'm not sure it was ever like perfect, but it's definitely different in the last couple of years. How has that changed your program or impacted your client base?
One of the things that it's done is it's increased the amount of time the families have to stay with us. Pre-COVID, COVID's always my definition of time.
Sure.
Pre-COVID,
I think that's all of us now.
Pre-COVID, we would have a family housed in 3 months,
Okay.
easily housed in nice housing, nice, safe, secure housing. Post-COVID, our families are with us for an average of 9 months.
Oh, wow.
So
just the duration.
The duration of
tripled.
time. And that is because of the wait lists
Mm-hmm.
and the lack of affordable housing. And so it just takes much longer for families to get into stable housing.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that people don't always understand. It's like if you have eligibility for housing that's made more affordable by government programs or local programs, that doesn't mean it is available.
It doesn't mean they get in.
Yeah.
I have a young man who we put on the Helena housing wait list in July, and he was number 538. And it'll be years.
Yeah.
It'll be at least 2 before he gets worked up to the top of that list.
Yeah. So once somebody's experiencing homelessness, it can be really hard for them to get out of that even with support.
It's very difficult even with support just because of the lack of affordable housing in our community.
Awesome. Well, this is a problem we've talked about a few times, even just on Ask Me Anything, but certainly something that's a major topic in our community and should be. So how could people get more involved with Family Promise? What if somebody watches this and says, I really want to help? What do you need? How can they help?
We always need overnight volunteers. That's our big one because our folks who stay at the churches need to have 2 overnight hosts every night to help make sure that things are going well. And so I love overnight hosts. We need them desperately always. Food volunteers, because we feed all of our families every day. And so the amount of food that comes through our day center that we're serving to people is huge.
Yeah.
We also are providing food assistance to a lot of the families that are in our prevention diversion program, which is new. Traditionally in our program, we just fed the families that we were sheltering, but we found a need to keep other folks food stable within the community. So we do that now. So yeah, any kind of volunteers. I love volunteers. They're the most wonderful people on earth.
Yeah.
And we can always find jobs for them.
Do you have any events or projects coming up that we should know about?
We do. We have our John Florida's concert, which is our holiday concert, coming up on December 12th at 7 o'clock at St. Paul's. We do it annually.
Okay.
It's a free will donation. And it's kind of a fundraiser, but more a celebration of holiday and the spirit. And he plays wonderful music. And it's really enjoyable.
Yeah, and he's a guitar player, right? I think
Yes.
I've heard him at some events and things. Yeah. So tell me again. So that's the 12th.
The 12th.
So next Tuesday.
Yes, at 7 o'clock.
At 7 o'clock.
At St. Paul's.
At St. Paul's, just down the street.
Yes.
From where we are right now. Very cool. Perfect. Was there anything else you wanted to add, Renee?
Thanks for your support.
Oh, our pleasure.
And we feel the support of the community, and that's greatly appreciated.
Yeah. Well, I think programs like this are so interesting because instead of, I think a lot of us nonprofits try to take on big things and do them by ourselves. And yours is really about, my understanding at least, is really about getting this whole group of churches and other collections of people who already have a relationship with each other to work collaboratively. So it's kind of sharing the load pretty widely.
Absolutely. We collaborate. I want to say we collaborate with everybody in town.
Mm-hmm.
We share a number of services with Good Samaritan, the Friendship Center, the other organizations in town who do similar kinds of things. We often share programming. If it weren't for the community collaboration, none of us would be successful.
Yeah, that's great.
It's fun.
Well, thank you, Renee. And that's a really good example of why we like to have these conversations, just to become more aware of what's in our community, who it's impacting. The last question I'm going to have, even though I said it was the last question a while ago, I was just thinking about what is your capacity and where are you at as far as families you're serving?
So our capacity traditionally has been 3 families in shelter program.
Mm-hmm.
We are really in the process of expanding that very rapidly.
Okay.
We are taking out a demolition permit as we speak to get rid of some stuff on our property that needs to be gone so that we can build our expanded permanent shelter. That will have a capacity of 14 rooms.
14. Wow.
So we'll be able to
Okay.
serve 14 families at a time.
Wow. That's a big jump.
It's huge.
Yeah. Okay. That's exciting. All righty. And then is the capacity higher pre-COVID, post-COVID, or about the same?
So pre-COVID, we never had a waiting list. If a family with children was homeless in this community, we could provide them services immediately. Post-COVID, we've got a waiting list of 25 families that's consistent.
Wow. All right. Well, that's a change.
It's the need has increased dramatically.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, well, we'll keep trying to untangle this messy knot of all the things that come back to housing in our community, because it feels like it's the big knot that everything else is raveled up around. So
it's very related. Again, Family Promises focuses on families with children, keep those children safe and secure and moving forward.
Amazing. Good work. Appreciate you being here. And for everybody who's watching, please, depending on where you're watching us, please follow, like, subscribe, whatever you can do to keep seeing more of this and learning about our community. And join us next month when we will be back with another nonprofit for another Ask Me Anything. Thank you.